There is a reason the deepest rivers make the least noise. There is a reason the most powerful warriors do not need to roar. And there is a reason the world's true achievers aren't constantly telling you what they're about to do. They're too busy doing it. In a world that's addicted to attention, that rewards loud opinions and overexposure, the greatest competitive advantage you have is stillness, restraint, precision, the discipline to act without the hunger to announce. Because when you learn to hold your tongue, focus your energy, and let your results speak, you will become a force this world cannot ignore. The crowd craves spectacle, but history has always belonged to the quiet strategist, the silent craftsman, the one who worked in the shadows while others danced in the spotlight. While others talked about greatness, they built it. While others debated the best path, they walked it. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb by shouting about it. He failed 10,000 times in a lab, away from applause, so that when the light finally came, the world had no choice but to see it. Speak less, do more, win everything. Success is not a performance. It's not a speech. It's not a promise. It's a habit. It's a mindset. It's the invisible hours that compound into unstoppable momentum. You will not attract greatness by announcing your intentions. You attract it by becoming worthy of it in private, long before the public ever hears your name. Carnegie built empires not by volume, but by vision. Disney didn't start with a castle. He started with a mouse and a dream. Both men were not loud. They were relentless. They knew that words without action are just noise, and noise will never build a future. Every time you speak about your goal, you get a taste of the reward. And that's the trap. Your brain believes you've already made progress. You haven't. Talking about it only burns the fuel. Doing it builds the machine. You must learn to starve your ego and feed your purpose. Let your silence starve their curiosity, and let your results satisfy it. Because the ones who win are not the ones talking loudest. They're the ones who never stopped moving forward when nobody was watching. True confidence doesn't need validation. It doesn't need a stage. It doesn't beg for likes or retweets or approval. It moves with certainty. It builds in secret. The quiet mind is the dangerous one. The one strategizing when the room thinks it's asleep. Abraham Lincoln didn't campaign on charisma. He carried a nation on the weight of his clarity. He read, he wrote, he reflected, he spoke when it mattered. That is strength. That is mastery. And that is the model. In a world that's racing to be heard, silence becomes power. Observation becomes a weapon. Focus becomes your edge. Because when everyone else is wasting energy on appearances, you're compounding power in the dark. Like a lion crouched in tall grass, you don't need to roar. You only need to leap at the right moment. Speak less. Do more. Win everything. There is a sacred rhythm to success. Clarity, discipline, action. Not chatter, not hype, not motivation. The most dangerous myth of our time is that you need to feel ready before you move. No, you need to move. The readiness is forged in the fire of doing. The voice inside that says, wait, is the same voice that will beg for a second chance later. Ignore it. Let the doubters talk. Let the world sleep. While they wait for perfect conditions, build in imperfect ones. While they delay, you decide. While they speak, you act. Your greatness is not waiting on a microphone. It's waiting on a mirror. Can you face yourself without excuses? Can you look at your day and say, I showed up? If not, no words will save you. You don't get what you want. You get what you do. Every day, every choice, every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. Are you casting votes for discipline or for distraction? Are you choosing the grind or the gratification? Success has never been a secret. It's just been quiet. And the truth is, silence takes strength. It takes strength to bite your tongue when you're criticized. It takes strength to keep working while others are partying. It takes strength to keep your head down when you're doubted, betrayed, or ignored. But every time you choose action over words, you're not just building results, you're building a reputation with yourself. You're becoming the kind of person who gets things done, who keeps promises, who doesn't need applause because the work is the reward. When others brag, build. When others broadcast, begin. When others rush to speak, choose to observe. There is power in pausing. There is intelligence in listening. There is greatness in choosing not to waste your strength on convincing people who aren't even chasing what you're chasing. And when you do speak, let it be like thunder. Rare but unforgettable, because the truth is, you only get one life. And the more time you spend talking about it, the less time you have to actually live it. Action is what moves mountains. Action is what builds legacies. Action is what turns average into fortune. Let your actions write your story. Let your progress speak your name. Let your success shout what your words never had to. Speak less, do more, win everything, keep going. And when you keep going, something begins to shift. Not in the world, but in you. The noise gets quieter, the distractions lose their grip, and suddenly, every breath, every step, every early morning and every lonely evening becomes part of a rhythm of becoming. Not becoming what the world expects, but becoming what you were created for. You start to move not with urgency, but with authority, not to prove something, but to express something that's been buried under fear and hesitation for far too long. The world will notice, but by then, you won't care. Because when you learn to speak less and do more, you stop performing for applause and start performing for purpose. You don't owe the world explanations. You owe yourself execution. You don't need permission. You need commitment. The person you're chasing is not out there. They are within you, waiting for the day you stop talking about potential and start cashing it in. And the currency of greatness is action. Daily, relentless, uncelebrated. That's what builds unstoppable momentum. That's how you earn self-respect. That's how you separate from the average and move into the rare air of excellence, not by yelling, but by showing. Henry Ford didn't spend his life proving doubters wrong with arguments. He proved them wrong with innovation. He didn't explain his dreams. He engineered them. He was mocked, dismissed, ridiculed, but he kept building. That's what this world honors in the end. Not the loudest voice, the most disciplined one, not the most convincing, the most consistent. That's your path. Every day you have a choice, noise or progress, hype or habit, talking or doing. Which one will you choose? Some people chase dreams with their lips, others chase it with their legs. Some make noise, others make moves. And life has a funny way of rewarding the quiet ones. The ones who rise early when no one's watching, who grind when no one claps, who keep showing up when nothing seems to work. Because in that silence, strength is born. In that silence, vision sharpens. In that silence, momentum is forged. And by the time the world sees what you've done, it's too late to stop it. Because results scream louder than any voice ever could. Don't seek credit, seek progress. Don't seek validation, seek results. There is no power in being seen. There is power in being prepared. And when you're prepared, the right moment becomes yours, not because you hoped for it, but because you earned it. Think of the greats, the ones whose names echo through time. They weren't remembered because they shouted louder. They were remembered because they sacrificed more. Because they traded comfort for clarity, noise for mastery, excuses for execution. Your life will be defined not by what you intended to do, but by what you actually did. And the tragedy is, most people will die with more words than results. Don't be one of them. Be the one who moved, be the one who changed, be the one who worked so deeply, so silently, so relentlessly, that the world was forced to ask, "Who is that?" And the answer didn't come from your lips. It came from your legacy. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment. Not to post, not to promise, but to build, to act, to fight for the version of you that doesn't need approval, doesn't need applause, doesn't need to speak. Because their life will speak for them, and it will say everything that words never could. And while your silence works, the world will misunderstand you. They'll ask why you're not sharing more, posting more, boasting more. Let them ask. While they chase applause, chase alignment. While they crave attention, crave advancement. You are not here to be noticed. You are here to become undeniable. You are not here to make noise. You are here to make impact. And impact is never born from noise. It is born from intention, from depth, from the invisible decisions no one applauds and no one sees, yet they shape everything. There is something sacred about working in silence. It's where your discipline is forged, where your resolve is tested, where you are broken, rebuilt, and reborn. The fire that refines you is not the praise of others. It's the promises you make to yourself when the lights are off and the room is empty, and no one would know if you quit. That's when it counts. That's when it matters. Because if you can master yourself when no one is watching, there is no environment you cannot dominate when they are. This world is full of distractions dressed up as opportunities. Conversations that lead nowhere, partnerships that go in circles, ideas that feel productive but steal your time. Learn to say no without explanation. Learn to walk away without guilt. Your silence doesn't mean weakness, it means focus. It means your energy has a destination and your time has boundaries. Because when your purpose is clear, your tolerance for nonsense disappears. Walt Disney said, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." It's not a suggestion, it's a principle. Talk is cheap. Doing costs something. It costs comfort. It costs sleep. It costs ego. It costs you the illusion of safety. But in that sacrifice, in that surrender, you gain something that noise can never offer. You gain power. Real, lasting, self-earned power. The kind that can't be taken from you because you didn't borrow it from attention. You built it from action. And here's the truth. The people who change the world are rarely the ones you expect. They don't start out with fame. They don't start out with noise. They start with a decision to go all in when no one believes, a decision to rise again when failure mocks them, a decision to act even when every voice says, wait. They don't ask for permission, they move with conviction. Because when you act from a place of purpose, not noise, not pride, not performance, you tap into a power far beyond motivation. You begin to lead yourself, and once you lead yourself, no one can stop you. Because you're not playing their game anymore. You're not chasing comparison. You're not performing for likes. You're building in silence, moving in purpose, and sharpening your edge with every step. And when that moment comes, and it will, when the world finally sees what you've been building in the dark, they will call it sudden. They will call it luck, but you will know it was earned, not in words, but in the quiet hours, the lonely reps, the uncelebrated sacrifices. That's where winning lives. So ask yourself today, not what you want to say to the world, but what you want the world to see in you when you've said nothing at all. Can your life speak without sound? Can your character stand without commentary? Can your results shine without spotlight? If the answer is no, good. Then you've just found your work. Do it in silence. Master it in silence. Become in silence. Then let the world watch in awe as you win everything they thought required noise. And when the silence is working, don't interrupt it. Don't explain your process to people who don't understand discipline. Don't dilute your vision to fit into a conversation. Let your absence from the noise be a declaration of your intention. Because while others are busy entertaining the crowd, you're building the foundation. You're laying brick after brick, rep after rep, decision after decision. And it's all adding up, quietly, invisibly, powerfully. The tallest mountains don't rise overnight. The deepest roots don't grow in public. The strongest legacies are not built in applause. They are carved in obscurity, watered with patience, and revealed with time. And if you can be patient, if you can stay in motion when the world is sleeping, you'll emerge not with potential, but with proof. You won't need to ask for respect, because your life will command it. Think of the legends, not the celebrities, the legends, the ones whose names endure. They weren't loud. They weren't chasing popularity. They were chasing mastery. They were obsessed with growth, with purpose, with becoming undeniable. Bruce Lee once said, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." He didn't shout. He didn't need to. His silence was sharper than most men's speeches. His precision, his control, his presence. That's what spoke. That's what left nations breathless. You want to win? Then you need to stop broadcasting and start becoming. The more you speak about it, the more you release the pressure that should be fueling your actions. Contain it, let it burn, let it drive you, until it erupts, not from your mouth, but from your movement. Your greatness must first be uncomfortable. It must be painful. It must be forged in that sacred tension between where you are and where you know you're meant to be. And that tension is not resolved in noise, it is resolved in effort. The world doesn't need your promises. It needs your proof, not your declarations, your demonstration, not your vision board, your scoreboard. And that scoreboard is filled with lonely mornings, with skipped parties, with 1,000 no's that bought you one powerful yes. You must become allergic to excuses, ruthless with your time, relentless with your standards. Because while the world chases shortcuts, you're laying the long road brick by brick. And in the end, they'll wonder how you built what they never had the patience for. Discipline is a silent song. It doesn't sing loudly, but it echoes forever. It's waking up when the world sleeps. It's saying no when your body says yes. It's training when you're tired. It's working on the craft when you're unsure. It's keeping your promise to yourself when no one would know if you broke it. That's how you become unstoppable. Not through noise, not through charisma, through commitment. Because when life gets hard, and it will, noise will flee. Hype will fade. Applause will stop. But what you've built in silence, that will carry you. That is your edge. That is your legacy. That is your quiet, thundering, undeniable roar. So build when it's thankless. Fight when it's lonely. Focus when it's uncomfortable. Grow when it's painful. Don't break your silence to seek validation. Don't weaken your momentum for attention. Let them wonder. Let them doubt. Let them forget. You don't need the world to remember your words. You need them to feel your results. This is your hour. This is your stretch of silent days that will echo through the decades. Do not waste them. Do not trade them. Do not speak your power when you can be it. Speak less. Do more. Win everything. Because the world is full of noise. But the ones who win, they move in silence. And the ones who move in silence don't ask for applause because they've already earned something far greater. Control. Control over their mind, over their reactions, over their time. They don't waste energy defending their decisions to people who never had the courage to make their own. They don't explain their grind to those who only understand comfort. They let the work speak. They let the work prove, and in the end, the work makes all the noise they'll ever need. You must decide what you want more, the illusion of progress or the quiet agony of real transformation. Because the path that leads to greatness is not lit with compliments. It's lit with commitment. It's not paved with praise, it's paved with sacrifice. And the deeper you go into that path, the less you'll want to talk about it. Because you'll realize how precious the silence is, how sacred it becomes. The world may never understand your discipline, but they will feel its result. Let your quiet mornings become your empire. Let your routine become your armor. Let your discipline become the sermon you never preach. Stop leaking your power through words. Contain it. Let it compound. Let it grow until it becomes undeniable. Because when it's real, when it's earned, you won't need to raise your voice. You'll walk into rooms and your presence will speak. You'll touch goals and your habits will echo. You'll make moves and your momentum will command respect. The quiet ones build movements. The silent ones shift history. The focused ones leave legacies. Not because they talked about it, but because they kept showing up when everyone else stopped. They kept choosing structure over comfort, principles over popularity, action over attention. And in that space, that rare space, they found their edge. The edge that separates ordinary from legendary. Ask yourself now, do you want noise or do you want impact? Because you can't chase both. One feeds the ego. The other feeds your future. One is fleeting. The other is forever. One makes you look good. The other makes you unbreakable. Let them talk. You build. Let them post. You push. Let them celebrate halfway. You finish the race, then start another. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them guess how you rose. Let them try to figure out how you got so far ahead. And when they ask, smile and stay silent. Because some victories don't require explanation. They require execution. Speak less. Do more. Win everything. And never, never stop. You don't need louder words. You need stronger actions. You don't need the world to clap. You need to keep showing up when no one's watching. Because in the end, It's not the noise that changes your life, it's the work. If this message lit a fire in you, share it. Comment with the one thing you're committing to today, and subscribe, not for more motivation, but because you've decided it's time to move in silence and win in reality. Your quiet revolution starts now.